be up in just 1 minute. I've got an issue that needs a tissue. What? Hit that like while you're waiting, though. Give me a second. Almost there, I hope. Come on, you crazy thing. Almost there. Be there soon. Promise. Okay. Hang out. This one goes Let's find out, shall we? All right. Are we there? We are, kind of. I'm a little darker than normal, I guess. We'll see. Hold on one second. Chat room, give me 1 second while I try to wiggle this light back on. Almost. Yes. Maybe. Maybe. Hold on. See if this switch over here works. Did it go? Nope. All right. Well, then it's just this tonight. Sorry. Hi. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Apparently, internet issues again. But as long as the hardwire's working, I can kind of get around the fact that the Wi-Fi goes out, but the rest of the family can't. Yeah. What's that? Why are you going out all of a sudden? Why'd you go away, Light, you weirdo? Oh, now you're back. Fine. Okay, fine. Sure. Just be like that. Why don't you just... I didn't touch that at all. Okay, it's just all kidney all the time today. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, I hope this works. Is never a good sign. Agreed. But, hey, we're here. And it could be worse. It could be stabbed. And of course, we'll drop in on Trump, and for however bad my Wi-Fi is going, I don't know why I pronounce it like that, Wi-Fi, pui to you, a curse upon your Y and your fying. Why that didn't work, it's anybody's guess. There should be, there you are, you ratty thing. Next, okay, that light should come on in a second. I don't know. It kind of looks good though. I gotta say, it's like maybe I should leave that off. Yeah, it will come on just in the right amount of time. Okay, and then this guy, is this gonna start? Ooh, what is that? Bad gateway. What are you talking about? Yikes. For whatever reason, the Trump rally on RAV is not coming up. Let's see. I'll see if I can find it on YouTube. If I'm getting... Really, am I not getting... Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it everywhere else. That's weird. Rumble's having issues. Dear God. Yes, the rugged masculinity of Ted Cruz. It's overwhelming. Okay, so... Yeah, it's Trump. What? Wisconsin. Whoops. Yeah, this today. Should be happening. Live rally, Wisconsin. There it is. Oh, I guess he's... Yeah, here he is. That's not today. Hold on. It's got to be... This is a chat replay. So when was this? Watch live. Yeah, streamed 2 hours ago. This is it. All right. Then I'll fast forward to... I got to say, about the same size rally that he had in... yeah, here you go. About the same size rally he had in Vegas. I don't know how anybody in Trump world thinks this is good news, people. Look at this. Look at this guy. Now you'll use a wide angle lens on this and it'll spread the people out and make it look like a sea of humans, but there's the grass right there. This is as far as it goes. It's you're talking about a couple thousand people. This is not uncommon for a regular, like, I've seen governors with bigger rallies than this. And over 1 million, yeah, in attendance, exactly. And I gotta say, like, half of his glitching that he's doing lately, part of it's brain fry, obviously, but a good portion of it seems to be just disappointment at the crowd size. Like, he's just kind of given up a little bit. So there you go, and they keep moving around. It's basically the same size as it was here. Little under, 2,500 people? Mm-hmm. And it's Wisconsin, so Wisconsinites take up, a third more space than the average American. Hold on, I'm going to shrink this down so we can fit them all into the frame. So, and then Proud. Oh, really? Can't stop me now? I'm sure Queen would like to send a cease and desist. Okay, he literally starts at the beginning of the song just so he can Hitler his way around the stage and just kind of wander. Okay, here I am. Wow. Wow. I used to pull 30,000 people. Wow. And now there's around two. And most of you go to the other rallies. Wow. I recognize almost everyone here at every other rally. I'm like the boomer, fat, lazy bullshit version of Fish. Wow. Look, hey, I remember you. Hey, what's going on, Tits McGee? What's okay? I'm not even through the first verse yet. I'll just stand over here like a dickhead. Downwind from the cheese, I stand here in the breeze and I make my own wind again for my fans. And I got my hat on now. Yeah, this is fairly standard Trumpian. Oh God, he farted. Whenever he pulls his jacket, he farts. It's his tell. Mm-hmm. He's definitely disappointed at the crowd size lately. It's amazing. No, I turned the sound off because I get a copyright strike from fucking Lee Greenwood. Now, here's the rule, I think. Never mind the music that USA, that's where he fucked up USA. So let's pause it right there. If you play music before he walks out, they just play kind of a party list of shit he liked when he used to be a Democrat, essentially, right? But but in this particular case, like when he plays Lee Greenwood, it's his theme song. Lee Greenwood has given him the rights and privileges to use the song, and so I think it should be, for the effect of people like me covering it, royalty free. Right? I shouldn't have to have a copyright strike because this motherfucker gave his song to a politician who is running for office in the United States. If you give somebody permission, then you can't do copyright strikes on anybody who is covering that said thing. Yes? Because it effectively just it leaves out anything he might say over top of it or anything that happens, which occasionally does. I can't comment on it directly because I'll get a copyright strike on my channel for no fucking reason. He gave him the song. I think that should be the rule. All bets are off. If you, and then it'll mean something. I mean, you can, obviously there's some sort of contribution in kind you'd have to work on. Sorry. Deanne says cease and desist on Like That Record. What? You don't like that record? Sorry, not that. Sorry. Happy 37th to Kendrick Lamar yesterday. Oh, right on. Yeah, the fact that he uses a Queen song is just fucking embarrassing. But you guys get my point. All right, that's all I'm gonna say on it. Let's just I'll turn the audio now. Wow. Oh, fuck you, dude. I'm the one who said what I picked Milwaukee. Bullshit. No, he did not. Jesus, is the audio really low on this thing, or is it just me? What the hell? Okay, hold on one second. This is being weird. Do you guys hear that at all? I turned the audio off on the thing, but hold on. I'm hearing this, all right? And hold on. Okay. Oh, I see. This is being weird. Oh. Right. Okay. So now there's something weird going with the audio on that. Of course. Perfect. Why not? Always. It's always something.
Democrats or the radical left lunatics, as I call them. I have to tell you, I was the one that picked it. These lying people that they say, oh, he doesn't like Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. I said, you got to fix the crime. We all know that. You got to make sure the election's honest. But I'm the one that picked Milwaukee, and the Democrats or the radical left lunatics, as I call them, what they say.
Check 2, check 3, check. There we go. Now it works. Got it. I'm fine. How are you? Let's just start over, shall we? Hi, how are you? Yeah. For whatever reason, it's one of those days, kids. Voila. Good Lord. The amount, the amount of troubleshooting I've been doing on the internet here all day has been off the charts. And the only time I left the house was to check the mail and go to acupuncture, came back and started right back at it. And luckily plugged in internet works, but everything else is predicated on Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi goes out, then it can't control anything. And so the lights get all wonky and I'm fine. How are you? Hi. There you go. So, all right, let's just start from scratch, shall we? I was telling Hallie's movie. Yes, I know. I'm good. Okay, and thank you, chat and staff staff chat. Bless you. It's it was a thing because I could see it playing on this end, but I couldn't see that it wasn't going out to you guys, which is annoying as fuck. Okay, here we go. Back to this bullshit. He said he picked thank you, an IT bonus. Thank you, JD Christie. I need it today. Good Lord.
Is just so terrible. They lie. They have a horrible candidate. They have a candidate that has no clue, doesn't know where he is, and all they can do is lie. I love it.
Well, it's by the way, I'd like to say it's easy to forget where you are when you've been to Europe twice in 2 weeks and you've flown to the East Coast of the United States and the West Coast of the United States in that. For anybody. Also, he absolutely knows where he is. He's ahead of you in the polls now.
I'm the one that picked Milwaukee officially, so, and you had...
Bullshit. This is just bullshit.
And I think you had about 10 congressmen in a meeting that we had recently where I said how much I like Milwaukee. They all came in.
Bullshit. Yeah. That's what they all heard. That's why they all were like, I don't know, I didn't hear anything. He was saying the crime side. He was saying the election stuff was a horrible place.
They said, that's what he said. We can't help it. And they're truthful people. But I just want to begin by saying, hello, Wisconsin. Hello.
Do you want to? Or are you just gonna? I want to start by saying, hello, Wisconsin. Hello.
Great state.
Great state. Really good. Yeah. Fabulous. If I wasn't running for office, I'd never set foot in this fucking dump.
Great. We've had great success here. It's great to be back.
Great success. Yes. Wow.
Back in this beautiful state with...
When did he become Borat?
Thousands and thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. What a crowd.
Well, technically, it's about 2,000. Yeah.
What a crowd. With your help, 5 months from now, we're going to win.
More like, not quite what a crowd, more like what crowd?
Wisconsin, we're going to defeat your radical left Democrat senator, one of the worst in the Senate.
Nope.
Nobody even knows she's a senator. I mean, frankly, she's not doing a good job representing. We have somebody that's going to be great. So, but we're going to defeat you.
Who would that be?
Your Senator Tammy Baldwin. We're going to elect Eric Hovde of this area, by the way, who's a
Eric Hovde of this area, by the way. And by area, I mean the state, I think.
Great gentleman, and spent a lot of time with him. He and his wife are incredible people. He's going to be a great representative. They're going to be great representatives of your
So great is the word, I guess.
state. But we're going to elect him to the U.S. Senate. We're going to evict weak, failed, and incompetent Joe Biden. He's an incompetent person.
He's an an incompetent person. Will the insults never cease?
From the White House. And quite simply, we are going to make America great again.
I said the big boy wore the butter through the poo-poo pants.
Less than 4 years ago, our border was secure. Inflation was nowhere.
Where the entire country was shut down. People were dying hand over fist. Nobody you knew, so who gives a shit?
To be seen, the world was at peace, and America.
The world was at peace. The world was at home, you dumb motherfucker. No one was fighting because they were afraid of dying of catching a disease from their friends more than they were worried about being shot, I suppose.
America was strong and respected. We were respected all over the world. None of this stuff would have been happening that's happened now with Russia and Ukraine and the attack on Israel. None of it would have been happening. We would have had
Yeah, well, that's true. When everybody's afraid to go outside because they're afraid they're going to die. Basically, what he's calling for is worldwide Ebola. Nothing would bring peace on earth and goodwill towards men than an airborne blood disease that makes you shit your organs as like black goo coming out your butthole. That's right. Peace through sharding.
we wouldn't have had a thing called inflation. That would have been nice too. But it was
if you don't have inflation, you don't have a currency.
A different place 4 years ago, but now we're going to make it better and bigger and stronger than ever before. But you had a president who put America first. I put America first. They don't.
Yeah, first on the chopping block.
They put America last. Under crooked Joe Biden, the world.
No, you mistake. We want America to last. We want it to last. We want it to maintain, still exist. That's you're missing a couple of syntax words.
Is in flames. Our border is overrun. Inflation is raging. Europe is in total chaos. The Middle East is exploding. Iran is emboldened. China is on the march. And the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt.
And yet America's economy is the strongest in the world. We're going to have a fucking high-speed rail Vegas to L.A. soon, where every single major airport in the country is getting a facelift. We're replacing bridges and at the fastest clip in American history, and all the lead pipes in the country will be gone in the next decade because of the infrastructure bill that was passed. But you were saying something about other countries being more important.
Corrupt president in history is going to drag us into World War III.
Why would he have to drag us? Aren't we on the precipice of the brink of the middle of World War III? Wouldn't he just flick us and we just fall into it?
Other than that, he's doing quite a good job, don't you think? Quite good.
He's already bored with his own shit.
Joe Biden is humiliating our country on the world stage. He's actually humiliating us. You saw what happened this weekend. It's turning the United States into a total joke all over the world. First, he wandered off the G7 in Europe, the stage. He looked like he didn't know where the hell he was, but he didn't know where he was.
Okay, first of all, there was no stage. They were standing on grass, dum-dum. At least act like you fucking saw it. And also, he was being respectful of the other paratroopers and not just the one that landed right in front of them and said great job to those guys because he's a gentleman. You, sir, would view them as the fucking help and shove everybody else there out of the way.
He's blaming it now on AI. He's saying he doesn't know what AI is, but that's okay.
You tell us.
Now they're saying the media is manipulating. Oh, he's saying the media is manipulating. Now, on that one, I have to stick up for the media. I have to tell you. He said the media is manipulating the pictures of him constantly not knowing where the...
No, he did say the media. They were specifically Fox News, the New York Post, I think the Daily Mail, and the Newsmax sites just cribbed off what they did on Twitter or some shit.
Hell he is. They're doing just the opposite. They're making him look better.
Also, by the way, all the Trump stuff, just for the record, all the Trump stuff of he doesn't know where the hell he is because Trump is scared shitless he's going to say he's in the wrong place again. He did it with, what was it, Sioux Falls, right? He fucked that up, and he's afraid it's going to happen in a big city, and it's been bugging the shit out of him. And so he says it, he doesn't even know where he is. And then, because at the Turning Points speech, he was like, hello, Michigan. I always check before. I got to make sure we're in Michigan because I don't want to say the wrong thing because you never recover if you go. And then he says this bullshit story, apocryphal nonsense, that Biden was in Iowa and, or it was in Florida. I thought it was Iowa or Iowa. Then it was Florida. He flip-flops it all the time. Like, hey, there's palm trees. And, hi, Iowa, or some shit. Like, he throws that around. The reason he's throwing that around, for the record, is because he's scared shitless he's going to do it again.
The G7 in Europe, and he had to be rescued by other world leaders. They had to pull him back. Then he bizarrely put his face on the Pope's forehead. What was that all about? That was weird. Vivek is here. That was weird, Vivek.
Yes, Vivek, you're a Catholic, right? You're atheist, Ayn Randy, borderline sovereign citizen, nuke 'em first, ask questions later, asshole. What do you think he was doing?
I don't know. Did you see the Pope? The Pope is like, what's happening? The Pope didn't really know what was happening. He said, this is strange. Then he froze.
Did he? I didn't know you spoke Italian.
During the celebration on the White House lawn, then Barack Hussein Obama had to grab his hand and lead him off the stage as though he were a child. I have to tell you, Obama could have handled that differently. He could have done it a little bit softer.
Oh, listen to this shit. Trump knows that's coming for him. Trump, there was that shot of him holding Don Jr.'s thumb as he was walking to stabilize himself the other day when he's walking down his little path, and he's nervous about this. Like, he's seeing, he's worried that's going to happen to him. This is all his internalized fear. You're just watching him basically lay it out there. That's why he's like, Obama, like he half expects that some of the, like maybe at the debate next week or something, that Obama's going to have to come over and walk him off stage. You could tell he's fucking nervous as shit.
He could have done it like, let's go. Go. He didn't have to grab him and pull him off the stage, but but he looked.
Because he was still talking to people in the audience, and they had to do a photo shoot with fucking Julia Roberts and George Clooney and other people, and Biden was still talking to the people there. And Obama was like, come here, man, we got to take a picture of these fuckers. These Hollywood fuckers are going to piss off, and we won't have everybody in the room. We need these shots. Like, this is what this is all about. Come backstage. That's all that was. Like, and it's been that way on all of these. Every single one where they're like, he's freezing or he won't move or he's wandering off. They literally cut off who he's talking to, including the one that Joe Rogan uses all the time. You know, the Rogan one where he's like, hey Jamie, put up on the big screen that thing about the thing where Biden said we attacked the airports in the Revolutionary War, and then put up that thing about how Biden's like waving at dead people off the stage or something like that, which even Glenn Beck said was because in the wider angle you can see him actually gesturing to a friend of his and saying, I'll talk to you in a second, and then he walks off stage and they actually meet up later. Jamie, put that video up that makes me look like a complete fucking innie penis. Yeah. Good,
and I guess that was his primary purpose. He wanted to.
Real quick, by the way, if you're trying to point out that someone else is weak and feeble, don't say duh. Don't actually work duh into your speech.
But he looked good, and duh. I guess that was his primary purpose. He wanted to look good. He could have done a better job. In fact, the Biden people were very upset about that whole incident, but yet to be discussed. But
Yet to be. I'm sorry. The Biden people called you and let you know that they were mad at Obama for getting Joe to the fucking photo shoot instead of letting him stand there and talk to the plebes in the audience.
Crooked Joe and his handlers are
Honestly, who the fuck's? Yeah, exactly, Mark. Says who?
insisting he's sharper than ever.
Well, we'll find out next week, motherfucker. Hey, keep talking him down. Keep doing it. I'm all for it. Yeah. Just keep talking shit.
They say the videos of Crooked Joe shuffling around are clean fakes. You know what a clean fake is? They're deceptively edited. They say they're deceptively edited.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. Wide shot, cut to make it look like there is no one that he is interacting with out of frame. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
All of the mistakes that he's made.
You know how we know? Because Jimmy Dore is such a lazy motherfucker, he couldn't bother to even use the edited clip. He just ignored the other people. For real.
Made every day. He can't go anywhere without a mistake. Now, if I'm perfect, they say he made a mistake. Perfect.
Yeah, that's what they say. And by the way, you don't have to worry about that because that never happens.
Perfect. And I don't say clean fakes, although they do. They do that. They do that. They're the fake news. Look how many you have out there. They're all over the place.
It's all campaign cameras and real America's Voice and RSBN. They travel with them.
But with me, they take a good speech and they make it look as bad as possible with it.
Yeah. I mean, what is not to like about...
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your...
It's a little mistake, okay? Who doesn't think there were airplanes during the Revolutionary War? It's a common...
Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Clearly.
They take the worst speech you've ever heard and they try and make him look like semi-normal. These are shameless liars who are trying to deceive you about other people, the people that represent Biden.
They're trying to... Sorry. Kel fuck?
To deceive you about...
Hold on. Listen to this sentence again.
Normal. These are shameless liars who are trying to deceive you about other people, the people that represent Biden. They're shameless liars. They're the...
So they're lying about themselves? By the way, is this... I don't know. Is this still perfect? It's hard for us to tell. So is this how he defines perfect?
Russia people, the laptop from hell people, the 51 intelligence agent people...
The 51 intelligence agent people. Again, are we still talking straight up perfection at this point?
The people that said all sorts of lies about military, about our great military. They'd make up stories about our...
Oh, you mean like that asshole, I don't remember his name, who said our soldiers surrendered in Afghanistan, that they dropped their guns and ran from guys with knives. There was some orange bloated fuckhead who shit on our troops who were who had just been training the Afghan military and left to protect our people as they evacuated because we were leaving the country after 21 years because Biden finally did it. And some bloated fuckhead shit on our soldiers and said they turned and ran and surrendered. And yeah, I'll have to look it up.
Our military, it's disgraceful what they can do. And
I agree. It's disgraceful when shitty garbage people like that shit on our troops just to make themselves look heroic, especially when I think that guy, I don't remember much, but I think that guy got 5 deferments. Yeah. And faked bone spurs to stay out of the draft.
They're so destructive to our country. They're the people that really destroy everything that they touch. That's why this November, the people of Wisconsin are going to tell Crooked Joe Biden, remember The Apprentice, you're fired. Get out. You've done a horrible job.
Okay. You have to go remember The Apprentice. Glory days. Some little young girls has glory days. Yeah. Yes, we know you were on that show. If you didn't have that show, we wouldn't even be looking at your dumb ass right now. Mark Burnett has put a scar across the fucking flag that'll be a long time healing. But, and by the way, just say the fucking line. I don't want to, any producer worth their salt will tell you to shut the fuck, just say the line and then shut the fuck up. Do you notice how he always screws the line? When they're all like way more successful than he is.
You've done a horrible, horrible job. Worst president in history. Get out, you're fired. Get out.
Get out, you're fired.
We can't get him out fast enough. I'm worried about...
Refresh, I think we're here. I think we buffered. Are we at? Yeah, I think we're back. Let me check. Yeah, we're good. I think so. We back? Hold on. Frozen on YouTube. Refresh. We're back? Okay, good.
The next 5 months, we could end up in World War III with this person. He's the worst
with this person
president ever. The Biden administration has been
Ouch. That's easy. Easy. The worst president ever. That's so mean. Is that because they did like a bunch of like historians look back over like the damage done to the country and programs passed and you know the effect on the dead and all that stuff, and you ranked absolutely at the bottom of all the presidents, like all of them, and so you are the worst president ever, and so that's why you keep saying he's your rubber ball glue schoolyard bullshit.
Stop catastrophe. He has been a catastrophe. It's been
it says catastrophe right there.
Non-stop catastrophe, but one of Crooked Joe's most destructive moves yet is the lawless executive action he is taking today. You've been reading in the middle of the largest border invasion in world history. There's never been a border in the world.
By the way, this is just weirdly garbage. Of course there has. Even as we left Afghanistan, millions of Afghans charged both the Pakistan and the Iranian border. All over Africa, there's been like huge ethnic displacements of giant waves of human beings. So of course there has.
That's like this border that we have, where probably.
Well, there is one thing about it our border is that everybody does want to get into the country. That is one of the things. So under Trump, nobody wanted to enter the country. Under Biden, everybody wants to be here. It might have something to do with us having the greatest economy on earth right now. You know.
17, 18 million people by now have.
Nope. Same. You got the same 5 million people trying over and over again.
Entered our country illegally. Joe Biden's granting mass.
Yeah, he's granting. Think of it as I restate it because I fucked up. He's granting. Sorry. Should we? How's that go again? He's granting.
Legally, Joe Biden's granting mass. He's
granting mass.
Going to formally grant a mass amnesty to millions of illegal aliens that came into our country. And you have.
No, there's like 100,000 like spouses of citizens that have been here for 10 years or more in their relationship. It's just bogged up. We don't need them in the fucking system, in the court system. We don't need them in there. They're obviously, it's not a sham marriage. They've been in it for more than a decade. And the DACA one is amazing. To qualify for the DACA amnesty, as it were, you have to not only have graduated college, but have like a high level job waiting for you. Like the bar is so fucking high.
You have people that have been working for 10 years to try and come in legally, and they just keep working.
Yes, these are those people, shithead. These are them. These are American citizens with fucking spouses, husbands and wives, they have children together, and their spouse doesn't have citizenship. Yes, they've been trying for 10 years, but they've been living here the whole time. They used to have to, like, even if they've been living here this whole time, married, raising kids and all that kind of, they had to leave the fucking country, get their citizenship and come back. Now, if this is just your way of trying to kick Melania out of the fucking country, just say so.
Under this program, a deluge of illegals will be given immediate green cards and put
a deluge
on the fast track to rapid citizenship.
Citizenship? Sorry, how do you sip? We citizenship. Citizenship.
Immediate green cards and put on the fast track to rapid citizenship so they can vote. I think a lot.
Yes, citizenship so they can vote.
A lot of them are going to vote for me. You want to know the truth? Because if you look at the Hispanic population, if you look at the black population, they're voting for Trump.
No, they're not.
They're voting for Trump. Look at
you. If you have to point at the black person in your crowd and go, you, that's not a, that's a sign you don't have a lot, motherfucker. You, my African American. Good Lord. Do you realize it's like the immigrant crime thing. If you can memorize one of the names and you keep mentioning it over and over again, that means there's not enough migrant crime for you to make it appear as a wave. If it was really the wave you said it was, you wouldn't even have time to memorize the people or the victims or the perpetrators, because it's a wave of migrant crime. But if there's like one white chick that you're attracted to who got unfortunately murdered, you're just going to latch on to that. Now, granted, as I read, as I posted on my shitter feed and as I read yesterday, there's a myriad of these, or day before yesterday, there's a myriad of these, people that were killed while he was president by people who, by the way, who'd gotten into the country, had been kicked out, had gotten back in again. Exactly what they're saying happened in these other cases, and they don't know a single fucking one of these names.
Thank you.
Thank you, one black person in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who actually arrived here with my campaign staff.
I like that person right there.
Oh, God. Oh, it's so cringe.
But
I like that person right there. Yeah.
They give them they give them welfare, they give them free health care, food stamps, chain migration. Oh,
you mean how Melania got her family in the country? Like her mom, who I think, didn't you skip the fucking funeral? Also, thank you, Angular Merkin, for the super chat. Is that Australian? No, is it Austrian? I don't know what the A before that is. I think it's Australian. I thought it'd be an AU.
Catastrophic things, one of the many catastrophic things.
Yeah, lots of catastrophic things
that we're confronted with when they come in. Crooked Joe is sending a message to the world that he rewards illegal entry, and that's what's happening. They hear about all of the things.
No, he isn't. It's just that these children have been here for a long time, and they can work in high-level industries, and they have a job, and they get a job, then they get this. Or if they've been married to an American for a decade, they shouldn't have to go through they shouldn't have to go back to their country of origin while their children are here, in their tender years, and go through the process in their old country, especially if it's dangerous.
Things that are coming in. And don't kid yourself, the ones that are hurt the most, the black population, the Hispanic population, and you know what else? Who else is hurt badly? Unions, because unions are not able to compete with this. This is a mass entry.
Well, I mean, there is something to that. He does not hire union workers at Mar-a-Lago, but he has hired a lot of foreign workers, and many of them have been undocumented. So, touche.
Into our country, and the unions are getting absolutely killed by it.
No, they're not. They just got some of the best deals they've ever had, including the trains, by the way, which I believe, like Jimmy Dore and TYT said, this was Biden breaking the union. Remember that shit? How broken is the fucking, like, the like Amtrak union? I think, what's the average pay? $118,000 a year?
All an illegal alien has to do is sign up for his new program. It's a sham marriage or college degree.
It's just a sham marriage, a 10-year sham marriage. You'd know something about that.
Think of this. And they can expect amnesty and taxpayer support. They want to get taxpayer support.
No, they can't. The DACA ones that want to do it have to already have a job on, like, they have to have been accepted for that job. And the only way the other person would get welfare is if their mate gets welfare too, I suppose, right?
We are supporting people that come in illegally, but our soldiers, our veterans, are dying on the streets of these horribly run Democrat cities. Our country is under invasion. We should not be talking
sorry, I thought you took care of that so well. You had 90% likability with the VA Choice Act of what year was that? 2014.
We should be talking about stopping the invasion instead. This is an invasion of our country.
These are people who've been here for more than a decade, most of whom came here as children. They don't even speak their native language in a lot of cases.
We have to seal the border.
Honestly, that has nothing to do with the border. Nothing at all.
We have to let people come into our country, but they have to come in legally.
Yes, well, spouses of Americans legally shouldn't take 10 years for them to get a court date and then have to go back to their original country, especially if their life is in danger, to go through the process, especially if they now have children and a life here.
We have to send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home where they belong. We have no choice. We have no choice.
We have no choice. We have no choice.
Don't forget, all over the world, the prisons, the jails, the mental institutions, the insane asylums, they're all being emptied out. And I don't blame them. I know the leaders. I know so many of the leaders. I had to deal with them. I dealt with them very nicely. I said, you don't behave, we're not going to give you any of the money. We pay them so much money and they do nothing. Get stolen all over. So
what you did is you stopped giving them the money, and then all of a sudden they're dumping their mental patients and their criminals into the country? Worked like a charm. Man, that art of the deal.
For the place. But I had a lot of things. We wanted to bring them back. They wouldn't let them come back. I was told that for years Obama couldn't get anybody out.
That's a lie.
We suffered with MS.
Honest to God, we do that all the time. And as far as the suffering with MS-13, it's an American gang. It started here. You can't deport Americans to South America just because they have South American sounding names.
13 by the thousands and thousands that killed people, that cut up. 2 young girls cut up in Long Island, cut up to pieces and died by MS.
Before or after?
MS-13 monsters, and we couldn't get them out of our country. And I came.
That's because they were American citizens for the most part.
Back, and I said, why? They said they won't take them back. Honduras, you take a look at Honduras, and any one of the Mexico, to a certain extent. Mexico.
To a certain extent.
A little bit less. But we have countries all over South America, countries all over the world, they wouldn't take them back. But in the case of the 4 countries, I said, here's what we do. El Salvador is an example, very tough, smart, good leader. But I would have been more advanced than him. I would have had the jails completely empty instead of almost empty.
His jails, they've never been more full. The story of El Salvador is the fact that they've locked up like every gang member in the fucking country. This is the opposite of like the base story coming out of there. Like, have you seen any of the fucking footage? Jesus Christ! Here, I'll show you. Let me try this in here. Wake up. There you go. It's El Salvador gangs prison. Like the fucking hold on. El Salvador gangs prison images. Yeah, here you go. With this dumb motherfucker. Look at this. This is the story coming out of El Salvador. Right? This is El Salvador. This is the story in El Salvador. Yeah. It's not that they're letting them loose. For the first time ever, they're locking them up. There's even been sort of like international outcry because they're concerned that they're scooping up people who are either tangentially related to the gang or don't have a choice or blah, blah, blah. And they have kind of like a zero tolerance, policy. They're just scooping everybody the fuck up and they're locking them away for good. And it's like humiliating and embarrassing and fucking dangerous. And like, this is the only news story about this. Not that they're letting them loose. Because if they let them loose, they're not going to come to America. They're going to keep their position there. It's where the drugs are, you dumb motherfucker. It's so weird.
You know, if you take a look at Venezuela, you see what's happening there. 72%.
Oh, yeah, this whole, like, you mean, I think it's literally, it was 27% because they did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we go. Let's see should I do the Yeah, so Venezuela had this thing where they had a prison that the gangs had taken over. And there's a swimming pool, and they would visit their family, and they'd have all these little shacks where their wives could live, and they had like it was hilarious. It was a baseball field. They basically they turned it into their own compound. Like it was such an exaggeration. But and then in the end of it, let's see if I can show you an image that won't get. Yeah, here you go. And then they decided that to put a stop to it. That story's from 9 months ago. Let me see if I can find a picture that will. Yeah, and they raided the place and took all these guys who basically were like Jeffrey Epstein. They all had a key to the jail and they could come and go, right? They just they raided the place and then relocked everybody up in a real jail. Like that's why the crime went down.
Down in crime because they've taken their gangs, their drug dealers. Also, they're
and put them in a real jail.
Prisoners. And where have...
Yeah, hit the like, everybody. Let them know we're here. That's important. You know who I'm talking to.
They brought them to the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Bullshit.
No. Who can believe that they...
Nobody believes it except these dipshits around you. It's silly.
Allow this to happen to our country.
They're not. It's not actually happening. Yeah. Do you see any around you? What are you talking about? Don't hire them for lower than a living wage. Don't hire them and give them jobs. Don't. Good Lord.
Now, who can believe that they would do this to a country? Now, Joe Biden doesn't have a clue. Now, we're going to watch. Is anybody going to watch the debate?
Oh, yes. Why are they saying no?
He's going to be so pumped up. He's going to be pumped up. You know, all that stuff that was missing.
Okay, so also, by the way, they realized they shit the bed on the SOTU, and so they've been trying to cover for this because they keep talking him down. He's stupid. He can't find out where he is. He can't put two sentences together. This is the narrative. And they built on this narrative like crazy. So now the only thing they can do is say he's going to be jacked up on some performance-enhancing drugs, which in that case, like, what drugs are you talking about? Name one that would cure dementia even temporarily. Like this is fucking Awakenings or some shit. There isn't one. And if it's just caffeine, like a cup of coffee before a debate, like I don't know if that would just make you anxious. It's going to be like 90 minutes. It would wear off. Like it's so odd.
About a month ago from the White House. What happened? Who left it? Somebody left it there. I wonder, let's see, somebody left a laptop in an office of a gentleman who was supposed to fix the laptop from hell. He never picked it up, and somebody didn't pick up.
Oh, and by the way, that's not even the story. It's all bullshit, apocryphal, whatever. But that's not actually the story. The story is that the guy asked him. He goes, "It's ruined," and he goes, "You can throw it out." And he goes, "Just bring me a hard drive, and I'll give you a copy of your hard drive, from that." So he saved it onto an SSD drive, and the idea was that Hunter would come back in, give him a hard drive, and he would copy it to him. But that's supposed to be the end of it. But this guy kept a copy for himself, and then turned in the laptop allegedly to Russian sounding FBI agents who he couldn't pick out of a lineup after, I guess, Don Jr. came to his place.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cocaine. I wonder who that could have been.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth? How expensive is cocaine? Jesus Christ. It was wasn't that supposed to be like a baggie this big? Jesus Christ. They weren't dealing out of there.
I don't know.
Yes, clearly.
Actually, I think it was Joe. You're one of those. But Crooked Joe's action today is
Yes, he's an 81-year-old who snorts blow. Yeah, that's what it is. That's clearly
illegal, unconstitutional amnesty without approval from Congress, no approval from the courts or the American people, but he never does that. He did that with the tuition, and that didn't work out too well. He got rebuked, and then he did it again.
He got rebuked.
Get rebuked again, even more so.
There's a lot of rebuking going on.
It's an even more vile attack. But
more vile rebuke.
But he did that with tuition just to get the publicity for the election. He doesn't care about that. He just wants to see if he can get it by the election. Like with all my stuff, they get these people from all over. Go after Trump. They never did this before. This is like third world country stuff. Go after Trump.
Excuse me. No. It's
a ninth world country, not a third world country.
Thank
a ninth
you.
world country.
Yeah.
But he did nothing wrong. That doesn't matter. Just go after him. Go after him. And we don't care what happens after the election. Just do it. Mess it up.
No, we kind of do care what happens after. I would have rather you had to go through the classified documents trial before the election, actually. And if you hadn't punted this shit, it wouldn't be this close to the election in the first place. And of course, if they hadn't let you know that you were going to get indicted, you wouldn't have started your campaign as early as you did.
No country has ever done this outside of a few third world horrible banana republics. Very rarely done. This Biden amnesty is a direct attack on American democracy, and yet another example is how Biden and his communists are demolishing our constitutional system and replacing it with a corrupt and fascist regime. These are fascists. These are bad people. And
yeah, fascist bad people, and there's and regimes. I said regime and fascist.
And I don't think he's calling the shots. I'll be honest. I think he's not. I'm talking to you like a small little gathering of, 20,000 people.
Get the fuck out of here. There's not 20,000 people there. There's 2.
But I don't think he's calling the shots. I really don't.
Notice how nobody cheered because they were like 20,000. 20,000. What the fuck? This is the same crowd I see at the state fair every year.
I almost sound when I talk about, Alphonse Capone was indicted less than Trump. I never heard the word indictment, and then all of a sudden,
really,
that's coming from all different angles at me, all caused by Biden and his thugs. But it's not going to happen. It's interesting because we're
Is it interesting?
doing better now than we've ever done because people know it's a scam. It's a big scam.
Nope. After just for the record, ever since he was convicted, he's at a 20% drop off with independents who are leaning his way. He's fucked.
And the Biden betrayal is not going to stand. When I'm reelected, Joe Biden's illegal amnesty plan will be ripped up and thrown out on the very first day that we're back in office.
We're back in office? Did you just say orifice? Secondly, so you're just going to, forcibly remove people's wives and husbands who they've been married to for over a decade from the country in your big, weird deportation force or whatever it's called? And then, yeah, and I guess the DACA kids as well, but just the ones that have high-tech jobs or whatever?
Because he's just using that
Thank you,
group.
Alien Fan.
But he's
Thank you for the super chats, everybody. By the way, Venmo. All right.
Going to let everybody come in because you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to sign these people up and register them. They're not citizens. They're not allowed to do it. It's illegal as hell. We're filing court cases all over the place, including here, but we're filing court. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to use all of these people that are pouring into our country to vote. What other reason?
No, they are not.
Look, it's either this.
I think they're trying to fill the million unfilled jobs in the country. It might be.
Stupid. They're not stupid. He is, but they're not stupid. The people that surround him is his,
Thank you, Bridget. A magic 8-ball can't save Trump. Rock on, Hal. Thank you.
His leaders aren't stupid. You can't cheat that well at an election and be stupid, okay? But
actually, I from what I understand, it really didn't take much, right? It was just like a couple of black ladies in Atlanta kicked your sorry ass, as you tell it.
So you say they're either stupid or they hate our country, or the third thing is they want to sign people up to vote. And that's what they're doing right now. They're signing people up to vote. The people don't even know where they are. And they're getting them cards to vote. They're trying to register them to vote.
No, they are not.
And we're in courts all over the place, and we're going to get it stopped, and we're not going to let what they did 4 years ago happen again. Our country is being destroyed. Joe Biden wants to be the president for illegal aliens, but I will be the president for law-abiding Americans, every background.
All right, this is just Stephen Miller shit from this point on. Should we jump over to something else real quick? Because this is the same boring fuckery we see all the time. Real quick. This guy is about to go to jail. And let's see. I think this is... Yeah. This one... Yeah, let's go to this one because we're not going to have much Steve Bannon soon because, I mean, the one thing you could say about Steve Bannon going to jail is that he has very little to worry about because this is a man who never bends over for the soap. Not ever. He wouldn't even reach laterally and pick it up, much less. He wouldn't catch it if it was falling. So I don't necessarily think... So here you go. This is Sweaty Booze Cheeks. Project 2025 supercharges Trump on day one. That's what I mean, day one dictatorship.
Project 2025, and this is a heritage foundation.
Oh, by the way, the big thing on Bannon's War Room right now is opening all these clips with MSNBC clips because they're just, I guess, borrowed threat.
I want to say document, but it's really more like a book. It's 300 pages long. I think it's actually more than that, 900 pages potentially, 900 pages long, that lays out what they believe a conservative administration should do if given another opportunity. And these are legal maneuvers that they'd like a conservative administration to make to tighten things up in this country, to tighten up LGBTQ rights, to tighten up education, also to tighten up abortion. They want abortion banned.
Katie, that's a lovely way to talk about it. They want to tighten them up. That's all. That doesn't sound bad. They want to tighten them up.
And nationwide. What is this?
Right. The Heritage Foundation is a conservative group. It's right there on Capitol Hill, about the closest nonprofit to the confines of the U.S. Congress that there is. And
they picked all of Trump's judges. All of them. They hand him a list, and he can either pick from the list or ask them to pick from the list, and that's what they did. He didn't know any of these fuckers.
They are an entity that prepared such a document for Ronald Reagan back when he was sworn in 1981. And they've
been doing it forever.
Say in these 900 pages, they provide an outline for him to use about policies that he could implement in year one of his office. And when we're talking about it, not just
instructions. By the way, remember this in the context of us just watching Trump at his rally saying Biden's got handlers and he basically just does what he's told. And then understand the reason he says it, because everything with Trump is projection. That's because Trump gets marching orders from the Heritage Foundation and he follows them to a letter. And when they don't work out politically for him, he gets pissed. That's what that whole, everybody wanted to kick Roe v. Wade back to the states. Remember that shit? Okay, that's because the Heritage Foundation and the hardliners in his cabinet that they put there all were saying, yeah, we got to do this. You'll be a hero, right? And he was like, everybody was telling me this. That's because they don't let anybody around you who went, there might be blowback from this. That person is automatically kicked out by the Heritage Foundation crowd.
is legislation that he could partner with Republican majorities on Capitol Hill over. But we're also talking about potential executive actions, having these written so he is prepared on day one to be able to actually sign those and have those implemented. So when you hear about...
Stop. Hang on. We're going to come right back to that in a second. You hear them all say, and every night on TV, they're screaming, Bannon's just sitting there. It's retribution. It's revenge. It's retribution. It's revenge.
Yeah, because you just gave a speech saying exactly that.
There's a very well thought through program. It's 900 pages long.
Right. Yeah, how many pages were in the fucking Unabomber's manifesto? Your point?
Does Biden have something that's 900 pages long?
Didn't you guys just bitch about how big the Infrastructure Act was? Yes. The American Rescue Plan. The Infrastructure Act.
Screwball Democrats have anything that's 900 pages long?
We don't have to. They don't write fucking manifestos.
No, they're not going to write anything down because they know about their crimes.
What?
They don't want to leave a lot of receipts. When you say preserve your documents, they go, I didn't write anything down. Don't know.
That's why Trump doesn't use email.
What you're talking about. They know how to subvert justice. There is a program to sort things out that Heritage and CRA and all these other groups, America First Priorities, you got all these groups out there that are working and building resume lists and people and vetting subject matter experts to go on offense.
Right, to run the Trump presidency through him. Yes, because he's an idiot and a total rando. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow. He was a fuck around in his entire presidency, and now he's finding out. And what these guys are saying is, Jesus Christ, if we let this dickhead freeball it again, we're all screwed. Give him an instruction manual, and someone tell him he'll get a lollipop at the end of the presidency if he follows it to the fucking letter.
On what needs to be done to sort this mess out that the 50% of the black people don't want to vote for, and the Hispanic people don't want to vote for, and the young people don't want to vote.
Is he drunk? I mean, we always kind of joke about him being like a little sloshed or whatever. This is a man who's getting in his booze before he goes to jail in a week and a half.
Vote for because of the lived experience of their policies. And oh, by the way, we are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got the and fucking telling me what? I'll tell you something. You want to know something? I got something for you. Yeah, he's got that kind of like close talker, spit on your neck, drunk, like the kind of gray gaze.
We're also going to have teams because we can multitask to deconstruct the administration.
Who the fuck's we? Again, I thought Trump was the man. It sounds like you're just seizing the reins or assuming that they will be yours.
State and to go after criminals and the traitors in the deep state.
Oh yeah, deep state. That's adorable. You mean bureaucrats that you don't like, but bureaucrats doesn't sound sexy enough?
So suck on that.
That is a phrase that Steve might be hearing in about a week and a half.
People have been working on this for years.
Yes, we know. Several different candidates even. I mean, why do you think Rex Tillerson was trying to count off a list of what he was supposed to do, including getting rid of the Department of Education and the third thing? Remember that? Why did he have a list like that? Because he got it from the Heritage Foundation.
And now you're seeing that
the Heritage Foundation every fucking 4 to 6 years goes puppet shopping amongst the Republicans. That's what they do.
Trump, and look at every time he has a meeting, he's got Silicon Valley. They're coming to him with gifts. Hey, We love you. What can we do? Can we write checks to get you back in? You got.
Yeah, that's not what happened. Good Lord. He met with with the CEOs, I think is what is the meeting we're talking about. And they all left going, Jesus Christ, he's lost.
The business roundtable last week in
Yeah, it was a fucking train wreck.
in D.C. You got Mitch McConnell fist bumping. How much do you think Mitch McConnell went home? You know that movie Nicholas and Alexandra when the Russian
Yeah, that's the one.
Tsar comes back from the front World War I, and he's abdicated the Romanov throne they've had for, I don't know, half a millennia. He curls up in a fetal position, and the wife Alexandra can't get him out of it. You think you think his lovely CCP connected adjacent wife had to do that with Mitch because he had to fist bump Trump? Come on, man! You think he liked doing that with like 4,000 for? I love the way Trump does that. He does surrender on the surrender terms. Mitch, you're going to have.
What the fuck are you talking about? What is this? Seriously, we turned away from the Trump babble to try and get something that was more, cogent and logical, and at least was the baseline of some sort of talking point, so we can kind of all stay up to speed before this bullshit reaches a groundswell. And he's one of the guys who starts it, so checking in on him is has some value in that regard. Same thing with Glenn Beck and a couple of others, even Rusty Trombone. You get the people who get like their direct instructions from the Kremlin via, let's just say offbeat porn sites. Yeah, that shit. Yeah, we check in with them to see what the fuck is like gonna be the story in a couple of weeks. This is just gibberish.
To get a photograph. All the guys on Capitol Hill, they're all loving him. The guys in the House are loving up on him. All those senators that hate his guts, loving up on him. Why?
They didn't show.
Why? He's winning.
Kawhi? You mean cuz why? Cuz why?
All the guys on Capitol Hill, they're all loving him. The guys in the House are loving up on him. All those senators that hate his guts, loving up on him. Why? He's winning.
Kawhi? I like Kawhi. It's better than Maui anyways. Fuck you. Kawhi, some of the best synthesizers you'll ever buy.
They know. They're politicians. They look at the crosstabs. They see this coming. They see this giant wave coming.
No, they don't. They have to scoop up his audience after he's gone. So this is the one last bit of ass kissing they're going to have to do to maintain that voter pool, or this is it. When Trump loses and his people, if they decide to go with him and go, I'm not fucking voting for Republicans ever again, and they try to form their own party or just stop voting, the Republicans are fucked for a decade, and they know it.
This tsunami, and it's what's running away for Biden.
Oh, yeah, the red wave. Yeah, remember the red wave?
Let's continue on. They also have, I think, MSNBC going after us a little bit today. We'll try to play. By the way, I kind of like this. Just, no guests. We're just nonstop rants. You dig this? You like this? We're going to continue on. Let's.
Really? No guests? That's weird. Nobody wanted to be on the show, Steve?
Continue.
All right, they're just playing other clips. He's just bitching at the screen right before he goes to jail. It's kind of fantastic, actually, if I may. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. See the thing right there? It says subscribe now. And you should do that. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Boink, boink. And then there's the Venmo, and then there's patreon.com/HalSparks. Okay, now, there was something else I wanted to show. Yeah, where is it? Okay, yeah, here it is. So this is, let's take a little diversion into, in the GOP garden, there are the seeds, or the seed sprayers. Ooh, that sounds awful. The seed spreaders, even worse. Like Bannon and others who create the storyline, Stephen Miller and others. They create the storyline and then they seed the soil or whatever. And then there's the people who do the actual gardening, which would be like Jesse Waters and that kind of stuff. And then there's the manure. And that would be people like Roseanne and her bizarre dipshit son. They're the manure in the GOP garden. They just slather the seed with bullshit and feed it till it grows, and they don't care about the direction. Let somebody else weed it, and keep it in rows and all that kind of stuff and grow it specifically. Let's be very Mad Mac, thank you. And then, of course, Fred Bear, thank you. $5 no holler, thank you. Keep bringing it. Appreciate that. And Paisley Jane, thank you. How your number is 2.1K, but only 2.5K. Love you. Aw. Yeah, hit that like, everybody. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, they're the manure in the onion patch. Right. So this is artificial intelligence is co-opting human intelligence. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have Roseanne going to explain to us how AI is bad for us.
And this is something you said to me a couple weeks ago. Let's get into it. You said to me, my opinion, the most profound thing you've ever said.
Oh, shit. That's saying a lot. Especially when she's in itchy Norma Desmond mode. Where they've just got her, propped up on the couch and drunk with her. Is that a new scarf or is it time to change the bandage?
And we haven't been able to podcast you.
Yeah, what I say.
You and I, because we have guests and run around, but I like when it's just you and I sometimes because...
Yeah, Mom. It's just us without those stupid people.
I listen to you. I live with you. And you sometimes...
You live with your mom? How old are you?
You leave these pearls out you forget about.
Why don't you have your own house? It can be nearby. I know you run her show, but why don't you... Honestly...
And I get to bring them up to you. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
You had said to me, I'm going to set it up.
I know what you said. I only say one worthwhile thing a month. I only say one sentence where people nod a month. So I remember those. Those are bellwether sentences. The rest of the time when I'm talking, everybody's going, what the fuck?
For the audience. Because we talk a lot about social media and the devil and corruption.
It's all about the media. It's all about the narrative being crafted,
MK
the
Ultra.
bullshit being sold.
Definitely bullshit.
I think she said crapted, by the way, which is a good word.
Shit is coming from on high, and we're all being manipulated, and we're all hating each other. Like, we talk about this every week. So...
Yeah, what? Oh, so let me get this straight. So there's divisive forces in the media that are making people hate each other. And it has nothing to do with your mom saying that Zelensky's not a real Jew. The Russians were attacked. The Ukrainians had it coming. And everybody in government that isn't Donald Trump is a fucking pedophile. But I'm sorry, was someone being divisive?
I always thought, and I'm not sure what I think now, but what you said has really got me going.
That you and me both, brother. I'm not even sure if you think at all, much less.
I always thought it was us sort of mixing in with bots and AI, and the algorithm learns what we like, and it's designed to keep us on the page. So, like, we're allowing ourselves to be manipulated, and we're part of it.
Like assholes.
I now think differently by what you said, which is what you said to me was it's actually AI fighting against other AI.
Yeah.
And I'm
so sorry. So your input is just you in between two fighting AIs, or you use AI to put stuff online?
going to just talk for 10 seconds and then I'll give the floor to you for an hour.
Yeah, please, because none of us know what the fuck you're talking about. I can't wait for her gibberish.
There are programs, these algorithm programs. We saw it in Shadowgate. They are designed to keep you on
Shadowgate. Oh.
the algorithm. It learns what you like. That
And what you hate.
was taken. That used to be a government program that was sold to the highest bidder. Manafort bought it. You can watch the Shadowgate documentary. So
Manafort bought it.
this AI has actually been outsourced to multiple companies. So I never thought about this, but it's totally feasible. Instagram, Facebook, and within factions.
Yes, it could be that my posts are unpopular. It's that the AI on either side doesn't like me. That must be it.
Inside each social media has the same program that doesn't realize there's another AI. So a lot of these bots fighting that we talk about, a lot of these arguments online, the narrative spinning, it might actually be AI learning from AI, and neither know that.
Yeah, I don't think she knows what you're talking about either. I'm going to judge from... She's got a very Steve Bannon look on her face right now. What? The fuck are you talking about?
Their AI, and we're watching, and we'll throw a comment here and there.
Yeah, just here and there, but we can't compete with them.
But that's why everything's gone so fucking crazy. That's what you said to me, right? Am I?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Can you go elaborate more? 'Cause
Yeah, can you straighten that shit out? Because none of us. So basically, you're saying that there are no online fights. That all the back and forth that's divisive is actually AI divided against itself, and that's why when you go outside, everybody's just kind of getting along, and it looks nothing like social media because you're just in a world of bots on X.
I think it's brilliant.
All intelligence in this time and space thing that's going on right now,
Oh dear.
the quickening, you could call it.
I could. This seems, I don't know. I wouldn't call it that right now because this is kind of dragging.
Because just
Wrap it up.
information is getting faster because things are going faster. We can
Sure. I mean, obviously, just to keep up.
contain a lot of information that we could. It's at our fingertips, and it never was before.
Yes, it was by our feet, I think, actually, wasn't it? It's now at our fingertips. It's rising, so it was like a couple months ago, it was at our knees. It's rising quickly.
And we can consume so much information in a minute.
Yeah. And that's, I'm going to guess the reason you feel like you can do that is because you absorb none of it. You just consume it and then sort of shit it out, but you don't actually engage with the information in any meaningful way. That's why, I mean, for speed's sake.
I mean, we're filing it and keeping it in our computer up here to
Our brain.
be able to call it forward.
In here.
With memory.
Yeah, with
No, not, she's not talking about your phone, dummy. She's pointing, I don't know, she's your mom. Maybe she does have a computer in her brain. Maybe she thinks this.
like a code word being triggered
Right.
Oh, I see. So we're being hypnotized is, I think, where she's
through
going.
media. Everything's media based.
But if an algorithm is designed to keep you on the algorithm, on the page so that it can sell you ads, which is what it's designed to do. Like,
It's not just a
And then it encounters another algorithm. Those two algorithms can, good God. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Thanks, Valerie. I appreciate your Friday eye. No, Hal. What the fuck is this? It's not anywhere near. If this does qualify as artificial intelligence only, or a discussion of it, only because you have two people who have no real intelligence between them,
sell you ads.
well, that's what
discussing shit that's well outside their wheelhouse.
some of the people that bought it are using it for. But no, you're right. It is to control the narrative. It is mind control.
It's to keep you in fear so that you stay in your house,
Right.
so that you shop online.
Right.
I'm sorry, what? So there's a giant AI conspiracy to stop us going to the mall. Apparently. Stay home, buy things at the house because they don't want you in stores, you stinky people. What?
Which is
That's
great.
what, when they came and was selling it to me, because they wanted me to go on TV and sell products. And they told me, and your audience will increase as fear grips the citizens and they stay in.
Really? Wait, fuck you. This was their sales pitch. Hang on. So who the fuck said this? So somebody came up to you, Roseanne, baby, we love you. You're fantastic. You're a huge star, and it's just amazing. And what we want, we've got a great thing for you. It's sort of like QVC meets the Twilight Zone / Outer Limits. And what you're going to do is you're going to go on TV and do something that's natural to you. You're going to scare the living fuck out of everyone and make them hate their neighbor. And that is going to lead them to never want to go outside. Another penchant you have that's amazing, girlfriend. Amazing. Roseanne, if anybody can make her own neighbors not want to go outside, it's you. So if you just turn that into an industry, you can get people, and then you get a cut of everything that they buy, from home. and they never leave, and then they all die under a pile of Amazon boxes. It'll work. Booby. It's a plan.
Because they wanted me to go on TV and sell products. And they told me, and your audience will increase as fear grips the citizens and they stay indoors more and they buy online.
Yeah.
I go, you evil. I couldn't hold it back because some part of God still exists within my soul. So I go, you evil bastards.
What company?
You evil bastards. You're trying to keep women inside and silenced. You
What?
evil bastard.
Oh, so you're talking to the Republican Party. I didn't realize. So these people were just asking you to be on what, the Trump campaign?
And
You know what?
she was asked by Clarence Thomas's wife to run their own version of right wing QVC.
not going to do that.
no.
Thank you, Roseanne. Finally, somebody with some fucking integrity. You know, somebody walked up to you, offered you the keys to the kingdom. They said all you got to do is sell crap on a show of nondescript content, which we'll decide later. No one knows. And when you do that, women will never go outside again. What do you think? And you had the uterine fortitude to tell him to go pound sand. Bless your heart. I don't know if I'd have had that kind of strength, with Satan standing right in front of me with a clipboard and his cock out. I would have just it would have been relatively intimidating, but not Roseanne. Jimmy, put up that thing on the big board where we tried to get Roseanne on here as a regular guest, and we recorded what she said to us. Remember we were telling her, all we wanted to do is be our, online, we were going to do a thing on, the Joe Rogan podcast version of QVC, and she would sit in a corner and just sell goods all day long, and we told her why, and then she said yes, and then I guess she got drunk and fell down the stairs, and she left. Put that video up. I forget. Jesus Christ.
Well, we're inside.
Well,
doing
I
our
fucked
podcast.
myself because I'd be a bazillionaires right now, but oh well.
Wait a minute. So your parents would have done this job, and you would have inherited it?
You would have blown it all. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would have married some Joe.
Tom Arnold would have
Yeah,
out of it.
right.
No, I think
Oh, God.
well, let's get back to the AI thing. It's really important.
Yeah, I get that. It is important. It's so much more important than this weird cul-de-sac of lunacy you just parked the car in for no reason and shut the engine off and scared the neighbors.
It's
It's
just a
all
theory.
I'm sitting in the car talking to the devil. He's got a clipboard and his cock out. I'm making deals. Who are you? Who are you? That's Mike. Who are you?
Mind control programs.
But what if it's mind control programs?
Talking to other mind control programs, and all we have to do is sneak out of the room. Two AIs are fighting, and we're just like, and they're like, oh, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You guys reverse racism, Black Lives Matter, reverse racism, women feminism, you're a turf, shh. It's the two way. Just let the AIs argue with each other. We've outsourced. Humanity has finally found a great use for AI. We have outsourced all of our bullshit arguing onto AI. So it now we've given it the task because you have to waste time or you're not living a life, I think. So we've outsourced all of our time wasting and our impotent anger onto AI. Brilliant.
Working with other mind control
It
programs,
is.
but not by design. That they're actually feasting.
I found someone to take away the heartache. My God, my angry BLM AI is arguing with my Share AI bot.
On each other, and it's a mistake. Like when you just fucking a lap and you mix it.
I've been feeling since you've been gone. Oh, son.
Well, because I was going to say the thing is that intelligence at this point is acts like a magnet, and it
Right.
attracts like intelligence to itself.
Right.
Or a lack thereof in the case of your show and you and your son. It's kind of like two vacuums. You know, if you took two vacuums that were on and you put the tubes up against each other and they go whoop, and they just don't, you know what I mean? Nature abhors a vacuum, but two vacuums love each other. Yeah.
But
You know what? Don't even think about it. You were fine. We got it.
that doesn't mean that, there's so many different kinds of intelligence.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. So many different kinds. Yeah. There's strawberry and vanilla and chocolate. And sometimes there's like Neapolitan intelligence, which has all three.
But you'll find that like intelligence is attracted to like intelligence.
I like intelligence, which is why I hate your podcast. So, explains a lot.
Which is a great calling.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Did you say calling or culling?
what's happening.
Right. But when you're talking about all kinds of intelligence, not just artificial, you're talking human intelligence.
Well, they've already co-opted human intelligence because for the most part, that doesn't even exist.
Well, I mean, local to your environment, you might be right. That's not my experience, but who am I to say? It's your house.
That's why I say the things I say to
Right, because you lack intelligence. I
try to test if it's still alive.
Right.
And
Yeah, I just say things to see if my own brain goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's how I know how unsmart I've become. What the fuck?
for the most part,
By the way, I'd like to remind everyone, they posted this clip.
it isn't,
Right.
especially on Twitter, X. It isn't alive still.
No.
It's all peer pressure, for lack of a better
Well,
word.
let's explain this.
It's peer pressure's I think it's a hyphenated at best, but it's two different. It's two words.
So on X, let's say you post something like, I don't want, I support Israel, right? That's your tweet. Then there's real people that look at it and go, oh, I do or I don't agree with you, and there's discussion. Well, there's also an AI that sees that when someone talks about Israel, there's engagement. And it wants engagement because, again, there's a...
Yes, Mars wants engagement. That's one of my favorite 50s female exploitation sci-fi movies. The poster alone.
No, I did a whole breakdown of that. First,
Okay, well, explain it.
for the first wave seems to be, you get about 25 Am Yisrael El Chai's fellow Jews, or whatever. After you talk to them for a minute or two, you find out none of them knows a thing about Judaism.
Right. So it could
But
be AI.
then the next wave is
Oh, I see. So AI is a giant army of fake Jews online. I'm so glad I tuned into this.
Palestinian. How come you trying to screw the Palestinians?
Right.
So you stole their land, them.
Right.
And then the
Them.
evil devil, Satan.
Thank you, Tim Apple, for saying thank you for not having annoying ads, Hal. Thank you. I hope if I do have ads at all, they're not annoying. But I don't do ads, yes.
That thing, that Freemason crazy shit.
Right.
Hey, fuck you. As a Freemason, go pound sand, lady.
That upside down world,
Right.
the Joker world.
Yeah.
The Joker world. We're literally the preservers of secular democracy.
They have entered the
Babylon,
chat.
of Babylon,
Right. But what I'm saying is,
Well, look, if anyone is going to Babylon, it's you.
if okay, so the algorithm is designed that way because it was.
Oh, and it's way more, and it's depend on male or female.
That's what I'm saying. But what it does, just so people understand, this is true. It will look at what
it
you look
begins
at.
to exploit your fears.
Yes.
It's got to keep you in fear so you'll stay in your house and
And order
shop
Amazon.
online.
That is exactly
Right, that's right. It's all Satan wants online shoppers. and it took them this long to do it.
Telling you, that's what they told me.
Amazon.
Then
That's them. They. Who is they? Only they know who is them.
I said,
Look at what it
I
did in
can't be
COVID.
a part of that because you're trying to
Yeah, you told us this story. We still don't know what you're
silence
talking about.
women.
Right, so it's to
And that
push
is
product.
what they're doing. Not only silencing women, but erasing women's rights as a class
Right.
of human. Certainly
Oh, so we are talking about the GOP. Then.
that, and pretending like that's a progressive thing to do because they're
What? Who is? What are you talking about?
transhumanists.
Right.
And, they trans this
Oh,
and
God.
trans that and trans you and me and trans America, blah, blah. But it's transhumanism where, you become half.
You're an android.
Well, you're an experiment that
Cyborg, I think, is the word you're looking for. That is a mixture.
you're a guinea pig they can do experiments on. Monsanto. They can inject
Satan. I'm trying to lower the volume on this. It got all loud all of a sudden.
you, infect you, and grow a plastic penis on your forehead if that's
Thank you. Yes, that's what I've been looking for. Is that, yeah, but I'm not going to do it until I can order it online because I'm afraid to leave the house. You know why? Because I looked outside, there's people walking around with penises on their foreheads everywhere.
what they so choose to do it at the public's expense, at
Right.
taxpayer cost.
Oh, it's free. So why would they shop online if it's just going to, is there going to be a website we all go to? I'm just curious.
Well, look at
Foreheadcock.com. What?
Amazon before COVID.
In other
and
words,
Amazon
the
after.
beast system.
Right, but
Oh, yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
your theory is not really that crazy because
I'm-
Amazon.
I'm-
It is though, isn't it though? It is. I just say it is that. It's that crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on the autism spectrum.
Right.
And I can put together a system and see how it's interconnected. So I see how the beast system, how it works,
Right.
and how it feeds itself. And it does feed itself.
Oh, so you made it. So would that make you the beast then, or?
On human blood.
Right. So the algorithm.
Definitely.
I see. So on Twitter, it feasts on human blood, which is why it wants us all to stay home and watch QVC all day.
On
learns-
organs and blood.
You have to explain.
I'm sorry, I can't watch much more of this, or I will start bleeding from my ears.
Explain this for people that don't like. We're up here. We got to bring people on. You're saying the algorithm that's designed to keep you in fear.
Dude, you started this with you said the most profound thing you've ever said. And she said, I know exactly what you're talking about. And you have spent this entire clip trying to get her to say what you wanted her to say. Here's how you do it next time, because it's her. You go, you said the most profound thing I've ever heard you say. You said, and I quote, blah, 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 blah. Go. Don't try to herd her mental cats back into the fucking barn of this phrase you want her to regurgitate, because she has no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Which
so you
again,
stay in your house and shop
and
online.
Again, Amazon.
Jesus, all right, I'm done. So apparently the devil wants online shoppers. And yeah. I don't yeah. And I mean, by the way, tens of thousands of views, and hit that like for me, by the way, because Jesus Christ. Good Lord. Hold on, I'm going to try to reopen this and see if it actually works. And there you go. Why is this? I don't know why it says that. I don't know why this whole thing says this, but whatever. Okay. My title was weird. It just changed, but whatever. Here we go. Now, let's jump in and we'll, I've only got 10 minutes left. We'll be all right. We don't have to watch all of this one either because we know where it's going. So one of the biggest problems that the right is having right now is that Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet, and he's indicative of a storyline that I've seen on like several different things. This is the title of this is Greg Kelly. I've not heard a peep out of these jurors. Okay, there is a reason for that, and the primary reason is that they'll get death threats. That's why. Because Trump's fans are fucking lunatics. Why would they ever, right? That's why. And so but Greg Kelly thinks it's because they don't exist. It's a conspiracy. Why would they come out? Yeah, it's so weird.
Hey, anyone notice something odd, an absence of some people who probably have a...
Yes, I have noticed your total lack of staff on your show. And how it looks for all the world like they've automated parts of the show and you're just alone in a garage in San Diego that passes itself for the Newsmax studio. Is that what you're talking about?
Big story to tell. The fake news always obsesses about what jurors have to say after a big trial, like the Trump trial. Why haven't we heard from the jurors?
Because they don't want to get killed. Because his followers are lunatics. Oh, that's OAN that's in there? Oh, that's right. Newsmax is in the basement of Fox News. That's right. They have a little office out, off of whatever the subway station there is, right? It's in one of the old bathrooms.
I haven't been on the Today Show.
I think it's the same bathroom where the fight scene happened in Warriors. Broken glass and broken doors and all.
They haven't been on 60 Minutes. I have not heard a peep out of these jurors. What is going on? This was a...
What am I going to have to do? Dox them?
Trial of global importance, right?
Right. And they had to go by numbers because Trump's followers are lunatics. This is fucking idiocy.
Of us all obsessed with it. And the fake news, they were, legal panels after legal panels and live coverage, all that stuff.
Because it was the first time a president has ever been charged with a felony after the presidency. And so, especially like hush money payments to a porn star, which is a relatively new thing.
And we haven't heard a peep from the jurors. Don't they want to hear from them? What is going on? It's pretty much kind of customary to talk to the jurors after a big case, even with the most controversial, potentially dangerous defendants like El Chapo, the drug lord from, where's he from? Mexico, remember? They went
something like that
down there, or actually the Mexicans got him, brought him here. It was pretty amazing. Well, he was convicted of about 50,000 crimes, and afterwards, guess what happened? One of the jurors talked. Yeah, the jurors spoke regarding the conviction and everything that was going on in the deliberation.
Juror speaks.
Room. How about?
Oh yeah, that juror. What's his name?
John Gotti. All right, they told us he was a bad mobster, and after
they told us he was a bad mobster. I remember when they told us this.
Went down, we actually did hear from one of the jurors after he was convicted. Granted,
Yeah, I remember that guy. Old pixel face himself. Do you see a theme here? They didn't name the other guy. This guy has his fucking face pixeled out. These are not good examples, shithead.
Wanted his identity kind of shrouded. They digitized it. He didn't want to be known. But this is kind of what happens. Whitey Bulger, the guy from Boston who was on the run, he killed, they say, 150 people with his bare hands.
At once? His hands must be huge. It was one of those crimes where Trump could literally go, definitely not me. My hands are far too small for a crime like that.
To strangle people, they say. I read that once.
I read that once.
Well, it was a big case, wasn't it?
Fugitive mobster James Whitey Bulger is finally captured.
After 16 years, the FBI finally has its man. Boston mob boss James Whitey Bulger was captured in Southern California.
One of the most infamous mobsters of the 20th century was finally brought to justice. 70.
Whatever.
Wow. Friends.
Hold on.
Was convicted of federal racketeering and conspiracy charges.
Wow. Bad guy. He was killed in prison, by the way. But he had a lot of friends out there who might be angry at jurors for convicting him. Guess what? They spoke. They told their story.
When we went in there, it was nothing what I thought it was going to be. It was more or less, we didn't know what was going on. It was very, very overwhelming. With 12 different people, there's 12 different opinions of what should be going on.
I made my decision, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I think that he was convicted of enough things that there's not, I'm not out to go after somebody for no reason whatsoever.
And it really did disturb us. As the verdict was being read out, many of us, the men, the women, we talked about it after, were literally shaking, tears.
Well, good for them. It was a...
And, maybe that's the reason why other juries don't want to speak.
Big story, and they spoke out, and they weren't afraid for their safety. I guess you got to be a little bit cautious, but, we're all kind of looking out for each other. They would have...
Are we, Greg? Are you just mad you can't dox these people?
Be so stupid as to do something, would they?
Yeah. After the Mar-a-Lago search warrant, one of Trump's supporters attacked the Cincinnati FBI office. Of course they're concerned.
This particular juror, she actually goes a little bit deeper. Whitey Bulger was a bad guy, and she voted to convict. But you know what she noticed? How bad the Department of Justice was, how bad the FBI, how corrupt these guys were. Some of them were in cahoots with Whitey Bulger.
Throughout this trial, what I've seen and what I've been heartbroken by is the corruption within the Department of Justice. And that would be the aspect of it that I just can't let go. I don't want to be focused on the mob and all that stuff, the next Bulger story type of thing. It's more the corruption, the depth of it.
That's how he got away with it for as long as he did. That was the point.
And how did this happen, and how do we make sure it's not happening anymore?
Wow, it's happening all the time. This
is it, though. And by the way, didn't Trump put an end to that? Didn't he get rid of Comey and bring in his own people? Bill Barr didn't get rid of that kind of thing?
Is 11 years ago, before anybody heard about MAGA, Make America Great Again, of which I am a proud member, a part of.
Oh, you're a member? I didn't realize there was a thing. Okay, one second. I think, hold on. Got to see what was that the year? That was a year after this. Yeah. This is from 2012. So, yeah. That was when his dad was still police commissioner of New York. Yeah. Just for context, if you're like, hey, what was the hit song that year? And what year did this happen? Yeah. Uh-huh.
But this is serious stuff, and it's not being addressed. She has more to say about the FBI now.
Morris, his corruption, his depth of corruption, the fact that two men were murdered, cold-bloodedly because he let information leak out. And he basically got a slap on the hand. I think it was 1 week with no pay, something ridiculous.
It was paltry.
Yes, and then he was given pay raises and, promotions, and he ended up retiring from the FBI with a full pension. And it was just mind-boggling. You're sitting there thinking, how?
Hold on. Let's see. This is what she's referring to. Notorious gangster was recruited as an FBI informant. Turned out that corrupt FBI agents were the ones informing him. This is so he gives a violent end to a violent life. Less than 12 hours after transfer to federal prison in West Virginia, notorious Boston gangster James Whitey Bulger was beaten to death in his cell in 2018. Boy, a lot of people died in their jail cells under Trump. Isn't that weird? Authorities believe Bulger's attack included a mafia hitman serving a life sentence who thought the 89-year-old mob boss was guilty of an unforgivable crime, being a rat. For 2 decades, he ruled Boston's underworld, blah, blah, blah. Secretly led a double life as an informer for the FBI in the Irish enclave of South Boston. He served as his turf. Bulger let it be known how much he despised snitches and turned down repeated FBI offers to become a confidential informant. That all changed, however, when Agent John Connolly approached him in the fall of '75. Bulger knew he could manipulate Connolly and have Connolly working for him, and that is indeed what happened. Author of Black Mass. Have you seen the movie Black Mass? The Johnny Depp movie? It's based on, I think, this book. Whitey Bulger, the FBI, and a Devil's Deal became the basis of yeah, there it is. I'm just reading. It's right there on the screen. Whatever. All right. Connolly had grown up in the same Boston housing project as his gangland boss, 8-year-old in the 40s. He met the charismatic 19-year-old Bulger at the corner drugstore. Bulger called Whitey because of his platinum blonde hair, offered to buy him ice cream, which he accepted. A short time later, Bulger saved Connolly as he was being beaten up by an older boy. They knew each other beforehand, is the point. In a 1975 meeting inside Connolly's Plymouth, parked at a local beach, the agent asked Bulger to pass along information to help the FBI crack down on the local Italian mob. The agent told the gangster that the mafia had already given the FBI information about Bulger's gang. Why don't you use us to do what you're going to do, fight fire with fire, he asked. On the night inside Connolly's car, Bulger agreed to moonlight for the FBI under one condition. I will not be called an informant. I will be your strategist, the gangster insisted. After all, there was nothing worse in the underworld than being a rat. Becoming an informant was a great business move for Bulger based on information given to him by his sidekick, Stephen the Rifleman Flemmy. The FBI eliminated the competition, and Giulio crime family, creating a vacuum in the Boston underworld. Bulger quickly filled the void by assuming the racketeering and drug dealing operation became the New England's most powerful crime boss. His connection with the boss made him, FBI also made him less of a target of law enforcement, particularly as he quickly co-opted agents such as Connolly. In addition to giving agents secrets, he gave them gifts and cash as well. According to the Boston Globe, Bulger and Flemmy gave Connolly $235,000 over 2 decades. Bulger also lavished John Morris, that's this guy, Connolly's supervisor and the head of the FBI's organized crime squad in Boston, with airline tickets and a case of expensive wine. At Christmas, corrupt agents and police officers received envelopes bulging with cash. Once he compromised the supervisor, then Whitey was in charge. Instead of doing the right thing, what took hold was a pattern of cover-up. By the early 1980s, became about agents covering up their own criminal activity and sustaining their own careers at the Bureau. That's what she's referring to. These are guys who, locally in Boston, this isn't necessarily the DOJ.
How can this be happening? And he was treated by the prosecuting attorneys with utmost respect. It was absolutely appalling to me. It was disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the Boston FBI.
Nothing has changed. In fact, it's gotten worse. Instead of...
Yeah, it has. There's not a single, even allegation of paid off FBI people in this, or anybody being given, graft or bribes or anything even remotely close to this. You just don't like what's coming to your buddy Trump.
Meddling with the mob, they're meddling in our history, presidential elections, Strzok, Page, covering up the laptop. It goes on and on and on. The raid on Mar-a-Lago.
There was no laptop. The laptop that the FBI got stuff off that they were introducing into the trial of Hunter Biden was the laptop not left behind in Delaware, but the one that Hunter Biden and his attorneys turned over in the tax case.
11 years ago, this finds...
There's a lot of overlap in some of the files because that's where they hacked some of the real files from, but there's a lot of bullshit on the hard drive that Rudy's shopping. Different thing.
Citizen spotted it, and nothing was done. So where does that put us with the Trump trial and the jurors? Why don't you speak up? Why don't you say something? I get it, actually. They're trying to create this, you are afraid of the MAGA mob, right? MAGA, we can't be trusted. Oh, we're just a...
Yeah, that's a good example of these crazy motherfuckers attacking the Capitol.
A bunch of crazy people.
You think you got better security at your house than the Capitol has?
Not, actually. We don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, including and especially the jurors. You know...
Do you though? We're not. Hey. By the way, we understand you're a Vienna sausage of a human being, Greg, and none of the jurors are afraid of you. They aren't. No one is threatened by your existence. No. Well, no male of any size and no woman equal or taller than you has anything to worry about around you. and most who are even shorter than you, I would guess at this point. But they're not concerned about a physical threat. What they're worried about is you doxing them effectively online, and the same crazy motherfuckers that showed up at the Cincinnati FBI office, those people showing up at their door. It ain't you.
Really not on you. Donald Trump said if the judge gave the jury those instructions about Mother Teresa would have been convicted.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's, I don't know, throw that on the pile of stupid shit, he says.
Still, a lot of this stuff was so hyped by the judge, by the prosecutors, and of course, the fake news. Watch out for MAGA.
My first thought when this came down was I was fearful for the judge's safety and the jury's safety.
The invasion of privacy, the threats of personal safety that logically follow from that. And that is because of Donald Trump's profile and the invitations to violence that he invites into legal proceedings.
The threats on jurors.
Yeah, by the way, all of this charts, all of this, that's exactly why they're worried.
People trying to identify who these jurors are, trying to threaten them with violence.
Jurors certainly must continue to be protected.
All right. Give me a break, okay?
Okay.
Hey, that's all wishful thinking, okay?
What's wishful thinking? That they're not physically attacked?
The judge is not actually, there were no threats. There was nothing.
There were a lot of threats.
One little item that hasn't gone away about possible juror misconduct.
Hold on. Real quick. Let's see. Let's see. How many threats has presiding judge Juan Merchan received since arraignment? Let's see. Since arraignment of the former President Donald Trump, Judge Juan Merchan and his family have faced multiple threats. Dozens of threats have been directed at Judge Merchan and his chambers, coming in the form of calls, emails, and letters. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office, including District Attorney Alvin Bragg, also received threats. These threats have prompted increased security measures for both the judge and the court as a precaution. Additionally, misinformation about the hush money trial spread by supporters of Trump led to hanging threats against Judge Merchan. The NYPD Intelligence Division is actively investigating these threats. This is there you go. Yeah. This would be this part. Bad stuff happens. Judge Merchan faces hanging threats linked to Trump misinformation. New York Justice Juan Merchan reportedly received death threats after misinformation about the hush money trial was spread by supporters of former President Donald Trump. That would be Greg Kelly. NBC reported multiple conservative news organizations have repeated a false suggestion the jury verdict did not have to be unanimous in Trump's case. One Fox News analyst sent a viral message on social media saying the judge told the jury they do not need unanimity to convict Trump. That's not true. They have to. They just don't have to agree on the federal crime because that's out of the jurisdiction. It's just whether or not he committed the crime. NBC noted that one Gab user responded to the false claim by writing, "It's time to find out where the judge lives and protest," as the left calls it, which he means burn down his house. I hear bad stuff happens to judges in their driveways, another user wrote. That's in relation to a female judge who was shot to death in her driveway. A Telegram user suggested a military tribunal for the judge. And on the official Telegram channel of Steve Bannon's War Room, a user said, Merchan and all involved should be hanged. Merchan wants to be the merchant of death to sell more rope, except he could easily be selling the rope that hangs him. And that's just a spatter.
Get to that in a moment. The judge told the jury right after the verdict, you can say now whatever you want. You are free to discuss the case with anyone you would like to discuss it
right. And they're not doing it because they don't want their lives in danger.
But you're also free not to. And the not to part, right, lends itself to this whole fake narrative that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, a threat.
No, it's just true. It is your choice. You can speak
to the criminal justice,
and you can choose not to speak. That's how it works.
And these people have to fear for their safety. No, they don't. That is a myth. And
until one of them's dead.
Stephen Colbert says he got a juror. This is a goof. It's not really that funny, but it's a little.
Jesus, fuck you. The joke was Melania was one of the jurors.
But,
and it is funny.
I don't know what it is, but let's take a look.
He's just, I've run out of shit to say, so let me steal a bit from Stephen Colbert, which, by the way, I can't play on my show because I will lose, I will get a copyright strike. That was the bit, yeah. It's funny. And she eventually comes out and knocks it down. Just saying.
I mean, on your show for the very...
Voted to of the powerful, right? That's kind of what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to afflict the comfort. How does it go?
How does it go again? It's only my business.
Right? That's kind of what they're supposed to do.
It means the press, or I guess comedians.
They're supposed to afflict the comfort. How does it go again? Comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, right? Comedians, media, journalists, and it's...
Yes, Trump is very comfortable. He's lived his entire life in comfort. He has never done physical labor of any sort in his entire fucking life. And if his dad didn't hand him a business, you wouldn't even know who the fuck he was.
The opposite.
How? I'm sorry, is Trump uncomfortable right now?
And it's wrong. And they're letting them get away with so much. Something else about juries. They're hiding behind this verdict.
President Trump is now a convicted felon.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. I don't need to hear anymore.
Convicted and decided by a jury of his peers.
Donald Trump was entitled to a trial by a jury of his peers. He received it.
This was a jury. This is a jury of his peers, a jury of fellow New Yorkers, as he is.
All right, you see? A jury did it. A jury. That's a jury of his peers. Number one, he doesn't have any peers.
Yeah, he is a peerless human being. There is no one in New York that is as big of a second-generation rich kid, pussy-grabbing, pedophile running buddy asshole who barges in on 15-year-olds while they're changing in a Miss Teen USA pageant, or meets his wife through somebody who organizes flights of underage models into the country without proper visas anywhere. I mean, that he's in a class where there's no class, all by himself.
A former president, it is a unique position constitutionally. We really do have impeachment for offenses by him. That was an appropriate forum. They did it often enough, right? But
yeah, but if you'll recall, Mitch McConnell, who just fist bumped him the other day, I guess, said, the courts are where this should be tried.
But not this. But you notice, a jury of his peers. A jury did it. I've heard that excuse before. Emmett Till.
What? Oh, my God. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. We've hit bedrock in the desperate scramble of Greg Kelly's life. Get the fuck out of here. Trump is Emmett Till? Jesus Christ.
Young man beaten to death all the way back in the 1950s. What did he do? He said hello to a white woman, something like that. And
yeah, that's all Trump did. I mean, he grabbed him by the pussy and forced himself on them, and they have evidence, but whatever. I can't. That's it. I'm out. That's so low. That's bedrock. Fucking hell. Yikes. Can we just watch something stupid and then move on? Because I got to go, but I know I'm going overtime, but I thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. James, thank you. I miss when Trump couldn't pronounce illegal despite all his experience on the subject. Yes, you'd think he'd be better at it considering how many illegal things that he's done in his life.
Free health care for illegal. Look.
You know what I mean?
Illegal. Look.
Yeah. So this, if I may, is a. Let me go back to here. There you go. Okay. This might be a tell. Okay, if I may. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Squirrelhead himself, Randy Paul from the Carpetbagger, the Kentucky Carpetbagger, son of Ron audit the Fed bullshit. Paul, who, by the way, whose entire campaign for president and his entire notoriety was bankrolled by the Russians. But look at this phrase right here and understand that Rand Paul views himself as a libertarian. The number of people entering our country illegally should be zero. Now, my first reaction when I saw this title was, that's impossible. You know what I mean? Unless you stop counting, I guess. Right? You just ignore it. The other thing is that since he's a libertarian, libertarians don't actually, if they boil down, believe in the sovereignty of a government anyways. You have to follow it to its ad absurdum conclusion. There should be no borders under libertarianism. No government has the right to establish borders anyways. They don't have that ability, right? Most libertarians would wipe their ass with the Constitution to start with. So the idea that the number of people who enter illegally should be zero, which means I think Rand Paul wants to legalize, I guess, get rid of the borders and legalize all immigration.
He says that the United States should consider using national emergency authorities. Is that something the administration is considering? Is he wrong there?
I don't have anything in terms of decision making on what those. I'm not even sure I completely understand what he means by all those authorities.
Kentucky. What he means is take us back to the pandemic. Trump thinks that the powers that were given to him by the pandemic, using Title 42 as basically everybody crossing into the country is violating health codes as a way to kick them back out, should always work because they're dirty. Because Hispanics or anybody coming across the southern border in general are disgusting human beings.
Don't touch my hands because they're dirty.
Senator Rand Paul joins me now. Senator, can you interpret this for me? I don't know whether to believe Morell because he lied about the laptop or whether to take this guy seriously, that there's about to be an imminent.
By the way, this is, for those who don't know, this is Jesse Swatter, we call him Stretch Ben Shapiro around here, just so you know.
Imminent terror attack coming through the border.
Well, no, that could be real. That really could happen. But anytime he's talking to you and his lips are moving, he's in all likelihood lying. The thing is, the president.
Like I am when I say I'm a Kentuckian.
The president has authority to say zero. Right now, his new reform is.
No, he does not.
He's going to let 2,500 people a day come in.
By the way, these are people who have been. Notice how they're cuffed together? If the border's open, why are these people being arrested?
And then he might get serious after 2,500. It should be zero. Because
how do you make it zero?
The problem is this. We have people coming in who are criminals. They're being released from prisons in Venezuela and different places. The
bullshit
killer of Laken Riley, the most recent murder of the woman with 5 children that was murdered from a guy from El Salvador who was already wanted for murder down there. So there's not just the domestic crime problem that Biden's letting into our country.
Different guy.
But if you watch the reports of people being...
Gee, you wonder why they give a shit about her and not other people.
Being interviewed across the border. Where are you from?
Notice they didn't freak out this way about the women that were murdered while Trump was president.
Egypt. Where are you from? Tajikistan. Where are you from? All over the place. China. All over the world. And they're just marching up and Biden's giving them parole. So Biden is judge and
no, he isn't.
Jury on this. President Biden looks at these people and says, oh, where are you from? Egypt. He says, here's your parole ticket. Come back and see me in about 4 or 5 years and we'll determine whether we're going to let you in the country. But in the meantime.
By the way, the border bill would have shortened the asylum claims to 90 days. Either you could prove that you need asylum in that time, and it would raise the standard for what it means to seek asylum, or you're out automatically. If you can't meet that, or they can't even get to you in 90 days, you're out. And this asshole and this asshole are against it. I don't want to hear it. All these people would have been booted under the new border bill that he's concerned about.
Here's a plane.
And thank you, Gene O'Reilly, for the super chat. How you're a treasure. I wasn't sure I could laugh again. Oh, well, good. I'll do what I can. Although it might, I don't know. According to Roseanne, it might be a plot, laughter itself.
Let me tell you something right now. Laughter is just a trick the devil plays to tickle you in your happy place while he sneaks by you in the middle of the night and his tail goes up your rectum. Listen, all laughter leads to the Denver airport. I'm warning you, listen.
Ticket, you can go somewhere. Where do you want to go? Anywhere in the U.S. No, the president has absolute authority.
No, he doesn't.
My understanding of the immigration law is that
is almost nil.
Migrants come in at the pleasure of the president. If the president says that there's a national security reason or a health reason or...
Right, it has to be a legitimate one or you'll lose it in the courts. What's the national security reason can't be we're scared of them or there's something nasty going on in a South American country, therefore nobody can come in. It's fucking bullshit.
Or really just that we're full. The president...
We're full. We got 1 million unfilled jobs. Donald Trump just applied for more foreign workers, for visas for more foreign workers at both Bedminster and Mar-a-Lago. What the fuck do you mean full?
Can stop it at zero. But realize what Joe Biden has offered is that after 25...
You do realize you're showing video of people being frisked and cuffed and taken away. And by the way, these guys will be immediately rejected.
100 a day, which is over 900,000 a year, then he's going to get tough. Right. It is nothing at all.
I mean, he's the president. He's not a travel agent. I think he's a confused man again. You have one of your favorite...
Yes, Catherine says, make sure you're registered to vote, everybody.
Gentlemen, and I use that term ironically, Dr. Anthony Fauci. It looks like he did a lot of TV over the weekend. Let's listen.
So at the time that I was getting offered it, I was making $125,000-$200,000, and I would get offered a job that would get me $5, $6, $7 million a year. So why didn't you take it? Because I really felt what I was doing was having an impact on what I cared about, which was the health of the country and indirectly the health of the world. And to me, that is priceless.
When do you get to grill him again, Senator?
Well, you know, I think he's working on sainthood. But I can tell you what he was talking about for the 10 years when he was giving up all that money to be in public service. He was saying that, yes, a scientist could get infected from the lab, and yes, a pandemic could start, go around the world, but the knowledge would be worth it. That's what he was telling you, the pandemic.
What the fuck? Yeah, it was all just a plan to age and remain relatively poor compared to his compatriots so that he could jumpstart a disease to kill his grandkids. That's what Rand Paul thinks the plan is. Now, granted, Ron Paul might hate Rand enough where Rand thinks that's how people behave. Jesse Waters' mother clearly thinks he's a disappointment. So it's understandable that these folks would never understand how somebody would want to leave a better world than they entered.
Pandemics would be okay, gain of function, no problem.
By the way, if I might, let's see. Whoops. Let's see. It should be in this thing, and oh, it's in more. Yeah, here we go. If I may. Let's see, where's this little guy? Yeah, we'll go way back in here. Here we go.
Pan collaborator.
Kinds of research, and I ended that too. I stopped that when we found out about that. He was doing that during the Obama years, and when I found out about it, I said, can you imagine that the United States is making payments to a Chinese lab? So just that on its face didn't make sense, but I stopped that.
The Obama administration did hit pause on gain-of-function research, though, and that was lifted under your watch. Why did you allow the gain-of-function research to continue?
Well, I think probably people that worked for me looked at it and...
Excuse me, not just people. Hashtag the best people, you lazy fuck.
And at one point they might have done that, but ultimately...
for years?
What we did was we shut it off. We shut the whole thing off.
No, they didn't. He cut the security funding, which if you're talking about something leaking from a lab, one would think the security of the lab might be kind of a precious thing to avoid a situation like that. And if the thing you do is you instead of cutting the funding on the actual research or just allowing it to stand, I suppose, instead of just insisting that they destroy anything that they did during that time, is that you just stop paying for locks on the doors, essentially, or guards, and then it gets out. Whose fucking fault would that be? Anybody? Whose fucking fault would that be? Chat room? Anybody got an idea whose fucking fault it would be if shit got out of a lab that you cut the security funding from? Any maggots out there that's the first time they saw that clip? Next thing you know, they'll tell us they never saw the video of Trump partying with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah.
He did a disservice by staying with the country so long.
Thank you, as always, Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rand Paul, the most useless senator that Kentucky has ever had. And if it wasn't for Mitch McConnell being speaker as long as he was and minority leader, Kentucky would be as forgettable as Oklahoma in terms of its impact on the Senate. Good Lord. Shall we peek at this? Can we do this one more time, just real quick, if I may? Just this guy right here. Hold on.
Click here to subscribe to the.
Oops, hold on. Shut up. This one.
His face didn't make sense, but I stopped that.
The Obama administration did hit pause on gain-of-function research, though, and that was lifted under your watch.
And he fills his pants with soup.
Why did you allow the gain-of-function research to continue?
Yeah, why? Why?
Well, I think probably people that worked for me looked at it, and at one point they might have done that, but ultimately...
Yeah, some people that worked for me might have looked at that and done it, but ultimately, later...
What we did was we shut it off. We shut the whole...
After 3 years.
Whole thing off, and we stopped making payments that were approved much earlier than our administration.
The security payments. And then less than a year later, you're telling me that a disease escaped from that very lab. So you stopped paying for heightened security at the Wuhan lab, and then less than a year later, a novel coronavirus escapes from said lab, your words, and makes its way around the globe, killing more people than anybody at any time since the Spanish flu. Yeah.
Pause on gain-of-function research, though, and that was lifted under your watch. It pause on gain-of-function...
Stop. It's to a Chinese lab. So just that on its face didn't make sense, but I stopped that.
The Obama administration did hit pause on gain-of-function research, though, and that was lifted under your watch. Why did you allow the gain-of-function research to continue?
Well, I think probably people that worked for me looked at it, and at one point they might have done that, but ultimately what we did was we shut it off. We shut the whole thing off, and we stopped making payments that were approved much earlier than our administration.
That's leadership, don't you think? If any, nothing says leadership like, I don't know, some people working for me did it. And besides, that was a bunch of shit that started before I was even here, even though it went on the entire time I was here. And my people changed policy from the last administration who had paused this shit specifically. And then as soon as I stopped paying for security, something escaped from that very same lab. But it's someone else's fault. This motherfucker. Wes, thank you. We love each other. We just don't understand why. We will die before we figure it out. What the fuck is it all about? Alfie. Catherine, thank you so much. Please make sure you're registered to vote, she says. Yeah, so I saw that. Yes. And then Edward, thank you so much for that super chat. Appreciate it. Hit the like, by the way, folks, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We have a couple of special guests. Philip Bittner will be joining us in the afternoon, and Carl Alessi's going to join me in the morning, and we're going to talk space stuff along with the trendages that are going on. And the F-16s have finally arrived in Ukraine. Yeah, and it's going to be a party.
I've got a theory about how that's gonna turn out, man. Because listen here, if God wanted people to fly, he would have had them born with a hot air balloon coming out of their ass. Come on. It's going to be a good time. All right. Wait, we have a special thing coming in at the last goddamn second. Dworkin over here with some kind of a video. Let's check it out. Something's happening. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Let me check this out. I gotta blow this fucker up for you. Come on. It's settle in, everybody. Let's see. Let's click on this. Is it bigger? That's fine. Here we go. Apparently, Trump ally Roger Stone, who has a tattoo of my third least favorite president on his asshole. Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you for that, Andre. I see that in there. Nice mystery coming up for people. Let's check it out. Here we go. Roger Stone, named after something that was in his dad's kidneys when he was born. All right, here we go. What the goddamn? Are they saying stuff? I don't hear anything. It's complete silence. Won't play it. Son of a bitch. Figure it out in a second. Give me a goddamn second. I'll work it out. Clearly, there's some sort of a conspiracy of dunces here, trying to stop me from doing the right thing at the wrong time to some of the best people that I can find in the near vicinity. Fab you fucking lus. All right, play you dumbass. Yeah, there it is. I hear it. Get in here. Stretch that shit out. Now, it's got to be bigger, though. You guys can't fucking see it. There we go. Now I've got a goddamn vision here. Settle down, chat room. Shit. Here he comes. Roger Stone, everybody. Yeah, I forget. He's got Nixon on his shoulder blades and Gerald Ford on his pecker. Let's check it out.
I know you tell that. Unlike some other people we know. I'm going to send this to Joe Biden.
He says, I'm going to send this to Joe Biden. I don't even know what it is.
That's it.
Do you mind taking a photo with me, Mr. Stone?
Sure.
You're in a position to know more than anybody else. How are you feeling about the election?
Too early to say.
Biden can't win again.
No, but it can be stolen again.
We're in a whole... But there's got to be something we can do to prevent that.
We're working on this, but I'm not saying that I'm totally confident yet, because I'm not. By the way, in 2020, only 65% of evangelical Christians bothered to vote. So when you tell people...
That's right. Yeah, because a bunch of them thought, it's God's plan.
Well, we're doing great, then this happens. I don't have to worry about voting. So that's our biggest... Overconfidence is one of our giant problems right now.
Absolutely. Overconfidence is the kind of thing that leads you into a tattoo parlor at 2 o'clock in the morning, drunk off your ass with a photo stat of Nixon and going, hit me where the sun don't shine.
But so, what are we going to do to stop it, though? Thank you.
I'll tell you the same thing I told her. We're working on it.
Oh, man, they're working on it. They've got a plan.
Well,
lawyers, judges, technology.
Governors?
Some, but there aren't many living guns.
We got to use every...
That's right. A lot of them have had, colonoscopies. They've got, missing... I don't know if it's like they've had their entire intestines removed or just partly.
Every lever we can.
We are doing that. All right.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Done, fucking done. Earlier that night. Hi. She wants to get his take on this. What are we going to do in this election? You know, because Democrats stole it last time. I think the last time is implied.
Yes, but between now and then, we're going to work very hard and very smart to try to make sure that doesn't happen.
You know, unlike last time, you know, working smart and hard, I would think would mean get out the vote.
So far, given the incredible power they have and they will use ruthlessly, we're beating them as of today. So in the end, I would beat the president's trial in Georgia's fall.
That's right. The Georgia trial isn't going anywhere. It's not like they could replace Fauci Willis and try him just on, like, because I don't know if you know this, but if your judge has the sniffles, they dismiss the charges against you, even if it's murder. Nobody cares. The minute, like, I had one point I got arrested down on my way down to Baja. I had stopped, as always, at the Denver airport. That wasn't my connecting flight. It was in Idaho. I walked. But anyways, when I got to Idaho, I was pulled over for driving under the influence of my own ego. And as the guy was frisking me, I made a break for it. Of course, it was in the middle of the police station, so they all tased me just to see if their brand new tasers worked. And when I woke up, I was in court, and then I heard out that the judge had just gotten the clap and couldn't be there, and so they dismissed the charges, and I left.
I think the judges are on the verge of dismissing the charges against him.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
They're delayed in New York City, and they're now delayed in Washington.
Yeah, and justice delayed is justice filleted. I think that's how it goes, goddammit.
They have a trial before the election, which is the absolute key to being able to
convince people that the reason we lost was because of the trial. Right now, if they steal it, people will say, well, that's not possible. Trump was leading in all the polls. They're poll jacking. That's what he's saying.
Leading in all the polls. They want to try him, suck up his money, suck up his time, and create a reason why their theft is plausible, believable.
That's right. They just convicted him to make him less popular with people who don't want to vote for a convict. I have never met a person like that in my fucking life.
You see?
Yeah, what stops them from just like voting fraud? Like
they in some states it'll be easier to stop them. In other places,
Yeah, you're just kind of screwed.
At least this time, when they do it, you have a lawyer and a judge whose home phone number standing by so you can stop him. We made no preparations last time. None.
Yes, they were almost as unprepared to lose as they were to win the first time.
Well, I was at the Capitol, so I'm prepared to go back.
Well, that may not be necessary. There are technical and legal steps that we have to take.
My God, this man is fucking boring. Yeah, we get it. You got judges that he put in there that are going to cover your ass. It's not going to make a goddamn lick of difference, you twerp. Let me understand this. Chat room, you guys fucking get this. Let me tell you right now. All right? Figure it out on your own. Yeah? It's a good time. And chat, you guys are lovely. I wish I could squeeze you all into one pretty woman, and if you'll come over to the Denver airport, I'll try. Jesus Christ, what the shit? Why is that opening up? That's just wrong. The hell happened there? Jesus. What a mess. Some fuck around links going on somewhere. Obviously, the Illuminati tried to take... Hey, my hair grew back. That's fucking fantastic. Jamie, tell him about the thing where your mustache grows but your hair stops. What the ever-loving fuck? Oh my God, I'm back. That felt so much better after all that. Hi, chat room. I'm going to let you guys go. I got to go do a goddamn show tomorrow. This is ridiculous. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Why you got to tell them that every time, man? Why you got to tell them to like and subscribe every time? Say like and subscribe again, motherfucker. Say like and subscribe again.
Like and subscribe.
Good. That's more like it.